What's going on, everybody? My name is Aiden and welcome back to another video. Bulls Nation. Today we're going to be discussing Nikola Vucevic's comments in relation to the Chicago Bulls and how this could be their last chance in terms of that core trying to compete as a representation of the Chicago Bulls during the regular seasons to come. It's very interesting that he would say something like this, and I'm going to give my thoughts and opinions on this as well, let alone just the comments and stuff of that nature. But before we get any further, if you like the video and you want to see more from me, drop a like, drop a follow, and comment down below your thoughts about the Chicago Bulls and whether or not you believe this is the last chance. Because again, I think the fact that Vucevic has said something along those lines is actually a pretty strong message to all Bulls fans that I feel like they need to hear. So basically, he said in quotations, we know we can do better and we have to do better. And he also said, and we know it's kind of our last chance as this core to do something. So basically, in no small quotations, that small quote that you just saw from Nikola Vucevic, that speaks volumes to what's happening around the Chicago Bulls that I need to bring to your attention. First and foremost, in relation to, is this the last chance for the Chicago Bulls? Something tells me inside of my soul, and I can't predict anything, but I have a feeling the front office, aka Arturas Karnisovas, Mark Eversley, and everybody else working in the front office, has suggested to Nikola Vucevic and basically the rest of the team that this is the last chance for them to really perform something. I don't think Vucevic would come out and say something like that if it wasn't, I guess, a message that was already given to him and the rest of the team. Now, he didn't necessarily say this is the last chance. Maybe for whatever reason, if we actually find, I guess, some success in the playoffs, even if we have a bad regular season, that might not be our last chance. But it is time to perform for the Chicago Bulls, and Vucevic is going to have to perform. Zach is going to have to perform. And obviously, DeMar is going to have to perform. This is the last chance for Bulls fans, but it looks like it's also turning into an idea that it's going to be the last chance for the core and the whole team in general, which is extremely interesting to see. And he's right in absolutely every sense of the word. I believe this Bulls team can do better. The reason why I believe this Bulls team can do better is because of the amount of close games we actually lost last season. Surely some of those games turn into wins. We're in a much better position. Our confidence could be sky high. And ultimately, again, if we got Patrick Beverley and the best version of Zach LaVine into this team earlier, we could have had a very decent season. I'm not saying top 4. I'm saying maybe we could have got into the 7th seed in the playing tournament, and maybe we could have actually went through to the NBA playoffs. That's kind of where I saw a lot of our things, our limit is, and that's kind of where I see our limit is for the Chicago Bulls this season. But all in due time. We'll have to wait and see how well the Chicago Bulls truly do in that regard. But I do believe the Bulls can do better. I believe the Bulls are going to have to do better because I believe in the front office's mind, it's now or never. You compete or you're gone, essentially. And I'd like to know who's going to be that guy to kind of take that first step in breaking up that Chicago Bulls core if we don't work it out. By the trade deadline, who's going to be the one that ends up getting traded? Is it DeMar DeRozan since he's on an expiring contract? Is it Vucevic since he's, I think, probably on a team-friendly deal, and, you know, some teams could be interested in that type of center? Or is it Zach LaVine because you're most likely to get the best out of him, or you're most likely to get the best trade package out of him? My apologies. So there's so much to decipher in that way, but it's interesting that he said something like that. And again, I just can't get past the fact that if it wasn't their last chance, if someone didn't tell them it was their last chance, you know, he wouldn't say something like that unless, in my opinion, someone has told him from the higher ups that it is this core's last chance. So again, that's the interesting thought that comes to mind. And again, I hope the Bulls do well. I don't want this to be the last chance for this Bulls team, but if we don't do well, I think everybody by the end of it will be happy that this is their last chance. So it really just comes down to how I've always viewed it. How will the Bulls play next season? How will they deliver their performances? How will they win? How will they gain confidence? How will the young guys step up? How will our new guys get involved? All of these conversation points that I haven't really talked about that much. Again, it's something to keep note of, as these are really important things to really determine whether or not this core is going to stay around or not. And they also said it's a miss of the trade rumors for Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan. Again, trade rumors are one thing, but when you get word from the front office, it's completely different. You know, we've heard that the Bulls are listening to Zach LaVine trades, but they're not necessarily accepting anything, are they? They're listening. They're shutting the door on most of them. DeMar DeRozan's probably the same, considering he's on an expiring deal. So I'm sure there are trade packages left, right, and center for the Chicago Bulls to pick and choose which one they would like to happen. And for the vast majority of the offseason, people wanted those trades to happen. DeMar, Zach, Vooch, all of them. People wanted all of these guys respectively to end up getting traded in one way, form, or fashion. So we'll have to wait and see how, I guess, his words really play out, because again, after what he said, I would be stunned if the Bulls suck this upcoming season and we still keep this core the same, because that completely goes against his word. And like we all saw that quote, he basically said, you don't perform now, you're not going to be a Bull anymore. Essentially, it's now or never. This is the last chance for the core. And by no means when I say it's the last chance for the core do I mean that all three of them are getting traded. But a reshape and a retool is something that most Bulls fans have been crying out for, and that could be potentially what we see heading into a trade deadline for the Chicago Bulls at some point throughout the season. Again, that's just me, and that's how I'm going to end this video. It's an interesting quote from Nikola Vucevic. I'm stunned that he said it, but again, if he said it, I'm kind of entitled to believe that that means something, and that somebody else told him that. Because I don't know any other reason why he would be saying something along those lines. But it is what it is. Have a wonderful and safe day, Bulls Nation. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay tuned for more. Take care, and peace.